Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 273. I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Soninsky. Hello.
Hey, that's me.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. I'm not to the point where I'm going to buy salt to put in front of that door, but if this continues for another recording day, I will have to get a chisel and salt, because having to use the giant garage door in the middle of winter to get in here kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think you're past the point of salt.
I don't know.
It's chisel. It's just chisel.
Both, though. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but the salt, will work, you'd have to leave it out there for, an entire day and then come back. And this isn't exactly, somewhere where you, try to go multiple times a week.
Correct. Yep.
You make a point to come here.
Yep. Unless it's, the nice weather season.
Yeah,
then
if it's summer, then you just leave work and come here.
Yep.
But it's not summer.
It's one of the huge benefits of kind of working halfway between home and here.
I keep forgetting that, your work is halfway here for you because you do live on the east side of St. Paul, and I'm just I live next to your work. Yep, this is just, why would I ever come here? Because work is right next to my house. Yeah.
It's a different scenario, but...
Totally different, yes.
Anywho, patreon.com/carbitrage. On this super cool website, you're going to find a little bit of support. I tried to change it up, and I fucked it up. I'm going to go back to the regular script. On this customized webpage, you'll find 3 open-ended levels of support, starting at just $1 a month to help us pay hosting costs and beer. Patreon.com/carbitrage.
Wow, you biffed that ad read.
Thank you.
That's the
and
same
I don't
ad
edit
read.
this, so it'll live for perpetuity.
Yep, no, that's the same ad read that you've done since 2017 or whatever.
Well, it went from 2 to 3 because I think 1 year ago I had a request for can we make it $1 a month instead of $1.99?
Okay. Yeah, I told you to do the $1 one.
I don't think we have any, but it's still nice to have it.
You should make the ad read pre-recorded and just press one of these buttons.
Yeah, I probably should.
Because that would just save you so much time.
Yeah, but I like disengaging my mandibular joint sometimes.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I've got a ham. So you
Perfect.
have a Colorado Kool-Aid as usual?
I did not go shopping, but I brought some Coors Lights down here because I knew we were very, very low on beer. So, alrighty. That covers beer. That covers Patreon. We've covered the episode number. I said hello. Let's get into topics.
Yes. Actually, no. We need to get into World Cup of Cars.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I believe that's the one at the top.
It is.
A positive of winter is I can put my hams between my window and my storm window.
Okay.
Next to my desk.
Yeah.
And it puts it exactly at refrigerator temperature.
Awesome.
So I just put 3 or 4 there, and I just I'll restart. I'll refill them as I drink them. Yeah, it's quite brilliant. So that way I have a mini fridge that is passive, and I don't have to get out of my chair.
Yeah, you don't have to pump heat both directions now.
Exactly,
it's just
it's
perfect.
great. So,
look at this energy savings you're up to.
All right, where are we with the World Cup of Cars here?
Looks like we are in. Is this quarter?
My computer's all stuck.
All right, so we have Netherlands at the DAF Daffodil.
Can you put it on the screen?
Yes.
My computer's just having a conniption.
May have to restart it. The thing hasn't been restarted in a long time. Yeah. All right, let me open up these links again. The DAF Daffodil versus the Gilburn Genie. Wait, didn't we do this last time?
Yes, I know, but I'm just trying to... All right, so the DAF Daffodil versus the
I think
No, wait.
Yeah.
Why is this not updated?
I don't know. I thought that was our pairing last time, wasn't it?
Group B, yep. Yeah, because it should be Group B versus Group D.
The Gilbert Genie won over the Daffodil? I can't remember. I'd have to go back.
Why is this not
They're
updated?
so adorable.
Why is this not updated? I think the Daffodil one, because it was cute.
I think you're right, but I just don't remember.
You know what? We're going to skip it for this week, and we're going to go back and listen, because we are having a technical issue, apparently.
Or we can come back to it at the end of the episode if the computer starts paying attention. But
I'm just saying go back because there seems to be some sort of large issue, a catastrophic issue here. So yeah, let's go back.
All right, let's go back to the
notes. All right, so sorry for technical issues and forgetting how to do the ad read. Do you think it's episode 1 from
we are? I don't know if anyone knew this. We are still noobs, apparently.
honestly did not think about the fact that we were recording today until like last night at 9 o'clock. It's just been whirlwind. You know what? Mercury's a stone retrograde until the 18th.
I had dinner with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in like a year at the original parlor last night, and that came up twice.
So this is the thing. I usually don't put much stock into Mercury being in retrograde. However, I've had no shortage of unhinged sellers. Like, it got to a point where in our like team meeting that my editor brought up that there's been an abundance of unhinged sellers for the last 2 weeks.
I also have had
it's been exactly for the length of it's been the exact length of Mercury being in retrograde. And you know what? And yeah, I think
we're going to go with that is actually happening.
Yeah, that seems to be accurate right now.
Also had a hellish last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so hopefully it's done now.
It's been absolutely... No, the 18th is when it's done.
Oh, great. Oh, we got some time.
It ends day before my annual review. So that's good. My annual review is right after it ends, so that's good.
God. Mercury's going to be in the correct direction now.
Yeah, so,
great.
Yeah, and then so like hopefully when I have my like review, at least my editor will be like...
He'll get like a slingshot effect from
Yeah, he won't be unhinged. So that's good.
Like,
so speaking of unhinged, Audi and Volkswagen...
I'd forgotten about this.
Well, you put this on
I know,
here,
but I like it still.
We need to put a fork in this story because this is more of a consistent issue that they have had for 30 years. And Audi and what is going on here with our...
Mercury retrograde. I got to fix the screen cap, I guess.
Apparently. Like, we didn't do anything, though.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, keep talking about it. I'll fix
this.
But
anyway, so Volkswagen and Audi, literally since they did fuel injection, have always, for some reason, put computers on the floorboards of their cars.
Yep.
Which is there's many bad places to put a computer. Like, a lot of people say, ooh, Ford puts an computer for the escapes in the wheel well. That somehow is not as bad as on the floorboard.
Yep.
Because the wheel well is supposed to have a piece of plastic in the way.
Also, they probably use a weather pack connector in there.
They do, yeah.
Good.
But Audi sure as shit doesn't. Also,
not.
Audi and Volkswagen are known for having the tiniest little like kitty urethra of like sunroof drains. And every single one has a clogged drain. That's why if you look at every single Mark IV, the front fenders are rusted out because the sunroof drains are clogged and they rust from the inside.
Yep. Also, they use like 30 gauge wiring for everything.
Yeah, it's literally the thinnest string. It's like 1 atom wide. It's just ridiculous. And
as the rust internally presses against that jacket, all the wire breaks.
Yeah, and also, to make things additionally cursed, it is biodegradable wire sheathing. So yeah, everything about Volkswagen is just cursed.
Just tragic.
And so apparently they have a recall because while they've always had the worst placement of computers, they found even a worse spot.
Yeah.
The rear floor well,
which is... I think it's under the actual like seat cushion, but it's right in the back.
What?
Where the cushion and the back meet. So any liquid spill is just immediately channeled under the seat into the low point where they've bolted this non-weather tight computer.
This is...
And then it propagates, as far as I understand, a CAN bus failure, which cuts engine power randomly.
Oh. Yeah, and once you have a CAN bus failure...
It's totaled.
Yeah, no, just junk the whole car. It's done. You're game over.
Yep. So congratulations on the A6 and S6 owners that have to deal with this.
At least good on Audi that this is happening in warranty, because usually Audi makes this happen at exactly 70,000 miles. So
this is the kind of issue you used to find on like a forum where like a bunch of people would start making the same thread 10 years after warranty. Be like, oh, yeah, this is what it is. The fix is put it in a Ziploc and add a zip tie.
Yeah, no, it's like ABC suspension on Mercedes where it's just like...
well...
It was not a problem for the first 20 years, but now it's everyone's problem.
50,000 vehicles because of a gateway control module that fails due to
That's
really common spills.
Really good.
If you put children in this car,
I'm really happy this is happening because fuck Volkswagen and Audi. I've always hated them. They're always bad. Everybody that says they're good is deluded.
They find a way to screw it up.
This is a company that, like, more so than Subaru, which is really saying something, is truly the worst car company. Like,
oh, are you sure? Is it worse than Tesla?
Yeah.
Really?
I would say it's worse than Tesla because Tesla's like, in concept, like they're just lazy
Okay.
and they're just trying to push shit out the door.
Okay.
Like they just have bad quality control. Volkswagen and Audi deliberately make their vehicles bad. Like they've always done this. Like they've forever. Like like their cars are disposable. It's like Volkswagen is the Zara of cars.
Okay.
Zara is one of those Chinese fast fashion brands where it's like it's nicer than Forever 21 looking.
Okay.
Like it looks great from 10 feet away.
But it's one
You
of those
try to
things.
wear like a Zara blouse like more than 5 times, it's split in half. Like that's exactly what Audi does. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Audis are great. They're so cool because they're comfy," and they're not that comfy. Like, "Oh, they drive so fast. They make cool noises." No, they make normal.
Oh, they're so
corporate
great in the
V6
snow. They're
noises.
quattro.
They've got all-wheel drive. No, they've got Volkswagen 4MATIC or whatever they call it. 4Motion.
4Motion, yeah.
Yeah, they got Volkswagen 4Motion with a different name. Like,
Yep.
it's not actual quattro.
Well, and quattro by any other name is the same exact system. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, like the OG Quattro, like in the Audi Quattro Coupe, yes, that was a good all-wheel drive system.
Because it had 2 Torsen diffs and that was it.
So, but if we're going to judge every car company off of a vehicle that they made 40 years ago,
Then Acura would still be good.
Acura's still wonderful. Kia sucks. Tesla doesn't exist. Like,
BMW is still making good-looking cars.
yeah, like BMW's on top of the world. Mercedes is reliable.
Yep.
Like, we're not going to judge vehicles off of shit that was made 40 years ago. We're
No.
going to judge vehicles that are made off of in like the last 10 years.
Here and now.
Because
preferably.
that's what you're gonna daily drive.
Right.
Like I don't care what Kim Block's daughter is daily driving or
Right.
Quattro. Like anybody is going to be driving like an A4. Maybe.
No,
it's gonna,
A3.
well,
Let's
yeah,
be real.
and that's like their biggest turd. Like
Well, because it's still Haldex. At least the A4. Well, actually, the
no,
A4 probably
no,
is now too.
the A3 is actually their biggest turd by far,
Hmm.
because it had all of the computer issues like water seepage. It had the sunroof seal issues. It had
Yep.
the timing chain issues. It had the Haldex clutch issues. It had upper strut mount issues. It had broken spring issues.
This is awesome.
It has all of the issues of an A4 and a GTI put together.
That is a Mark IV and an Audi stapled together.
No, a Mark 5 and an Audi. No, because the Mark 4 is almost good. Like almost.
Okay.
Almost good. By like you could feasibly daily drive a Mark 4 and be okay, but like. It's like a Mark 5,
Okay.
like an early Mark 5, where they had the 5-cylinder.
06.
Even the 5-cylinder was shitty. But like,
Yeah, that's a dice roll, man. If you didn't get a TDI, it's will you make it to 60K without
like,
an engine failure?
well, that's the thing is like today, not today, but like they had like an okay era in like about 2016. You get a 5-cylinder with a manual, and you're probably fine. You could still get a 2-liter non-turbo. Single cam,
Oh, yeah.
8-valve.
I forgot they
with
brought
a
that back
manual.
for a while.
Yeah, because they needed something reliable. And so, like, you could still get the occasional okay car, but, like, you'd, like, look for it.
Right.
But, like, even then, you're still dealing with broken springs, stuck calipers, Haldex issues. Radio's just quitting for no reason. Like, the radio just turns off.
There's there's a reason. It's the gateway module under the back seat.
Well,
that
no,
got
no,
some...
separate of that. Like, the radios themselves.
Oh, it's not just
like-
a can failure somewhere else?
Oh, yeah. No, like, this is a known thing on Tiguan's. Where, like, Tiguan's, like, the radio just shuts off. You don't know what's going to do. And by this radio shutting off, it also shuts off every single warning chime.
Cool. I suppose that all runs through the speakers.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm not
it's-
even sure if that's, like, legal for that to
oh,
fail.
it's a curse problem, yeah.
My downstairs tenants next door have, like, a silver 2010 Tiguan 2.0T, and, like, I'm just waiting for
Oh.
someday that won't show up anymore.
It won't, no.
Yeah.
Wait, where? At your...
My neighbors at my home, the downstairs renters traded in their Mazda 3 for a Tiguan.
Oh, do you have actual roommates now at your house?
No, next door.
Oh,
downstairs.
next door.
Yeah.
They traded in... For, what kind of car did they
They
have?
traded in a Mazda 3
Ooh, they're fucked.
with really bad tires. And so they're probably like, oh, we need all-wheel drive for this.
No,
street.
they don't.
Yeah, no, they need new tires. But anyway, they traded in a reliable car,
For-
even though second-gen Mazda 3s weren't, like, great. Still
No,
way better than a
the
Tiguan.
second gen Mazda 3s had rust issues
This one was pretty clean.
And they had the struts wear out, like Fiat bad wear out, or like that's like probably the first point of failure in the suspension. And then what else was it? Carbon buildup, and that's it. That's just the early direct injection issue.
Oh, I didn't even know those were DI. Okay.
Yeah, this is the very first generation of DI. Yeah,
I gotcha.
But unlike a Volkswagen, it didn't have the little flappy paddles inside the intake manifold to get broken and then just like fuck everything. It would just like, hey, you get worse fuel economy, you have a stumble and idle. Like that's what you have with the carbon buildup on Mazda 3s. Like they are problematic. Like relatively speaking, they're problematic, but like they're fine.
Both that car and the Tiguan both had like buy here, pay here style dealership license plate frames. So.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Let me give this Tiguan till April.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go long and say April.
And I got hailed on in that hailstorm, so now it's a golf ball, and it's like, oh god.
I bet they didn't have like correct insurance.
I'm sure they did not have comprehensive on it.
Ooh, they were turbo fucked on that.
Yeah, this is. I'll update you guys as this.
I don't think they're gonna live there anymore. Like, Tiguan. Every single person that I've encountered with a Tiguan has either had wealthy parents that can help them live,
afford to put an engine in it,
or B,
excuse me,
teeter on homelessness because of the vehicle. And like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, there were a lot of people that worked at Good Karma that came from like, because Northeast is like, that's kind of like hipstery area, but like once it gets like near north and like the west, like west of 494, that's where you start to have like a lower income neighborhood. And a lot of people would buy them because foolishly somebody said, oh, foreign cars are good, when they meant to say Japanese cars.
German cars are well made is what I hear so often.
Yeah, and they're not.
Not by and large.
No, they're not. They never have been. They've just had like some good cars. Like, yes, Mercedes from the 70s and 80s were objectively fantastic.
Those were very well made cars.
BMWs
from the same era.
From the same era were the best fuel injected cars in the 1980s. Like, those are two objective facts. But like,
yeah,
when you see like some like poor lady that like makes like $35,000 a year, and she gets a Q7 from Copart.
Oh no!
That was said to run and drive, and they deliver it to her on a forklift, and she drives it away, and it's her only car. And she sold her like Lumina to pay for it.
Oh no!
And then you hit her with, hey, you need $10,000 like right now at work. And her eyes bulge out of her head. She goes, what do I need to make it run? I'm like, okay, you need $8,000 to make this like a daily driver, like just in your neighborhood.
Just chains, or what was it?
No, it was much worse. And then she goes, okay, I need to think about it, defers it, and then it gets towed in. And it's, now you need $30,000 worth of work. Like,
on a vehicle that's worth like $4,000.
Yeah. And it's like, on this car, yes, it needed chains. However, before it needed chains, remember how I said they delivered it to her on a forklift?
Yep.
Well, they had kinked the drive shaft a little, but like just the tiniest amount.
Oh my god.
And it had caused a leak in the Haldex, like bearing. And
I suppose. Yeah. Because that's like rigid mounted into the back of the case.
Yeah, exactly. And then the rear main was leaking.
No.
Like separately. It was just a curse problem. And like, there was something else that
It'd have been better off pulling the case off and welding the diff up.
I think there was something else that happened. There was another like catastrophic issue was caused by that.
How did she even? You need like a broker to buy a car from Copart. How did she even end up with that?
She had a friend that was a broker.
Oh, great.
And he was a fucking idiot as well.
Oh, I could tell because he sold her a Q7.
Yeah, and like
from Copart.
I had the pleasure of meeting him, and he had the world's worst A6.
Oh no.
And I'm like, you got in this car and said, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Oh no.
And it's like, it wasn't even a car where he's like, this A6 like looks good from close up. It's just, it's just got some cosmetic issues. I'm like, I heard the timing chains on startup. Like, no, this isn't okay. It smells like coolant and the door's closed. Like, this isn't a good vehicle. Like, yeah, Volkswagen Audis always sucked, and they always will. And it's just, they are such a scummy company. And that's why it's like, even when they make something that is good, I don't want to give them credit.
Right.
Because it's like, cool, you did a good thing. Like, good job. The Third Reich also made the Autobahn, but it doesn't excuse them for all the other horrible shit they did.
Love the Nürburgring doesn't make me a Nazi.
Exactly. It's like when people say, "Oh, this person's getting better." I'm like, I guess Muammar Gaddafi could have improved his personality and still been a very shitty person. So it's what it's like. It's like Volkswagen. Yeah, they got a little bit better. Cool. They still have a really long road to go before they get to okay person.
I'm really liking these Volkswagen analogies and metaphors. And
comparing them to the Third Reich and Muammar Gaddafi.
I concede Audi VAG is a worse company than Tesla, but I am going to use that as a segue into my next topic, which is yesterday in the morning, I saw that Tesla had dropped their entire model line roster of pricing by somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 per car.
Wow.
Which is significant. And most of those cost cuts were from the Model Y, which is what all the dummies buy. And boy howdy, was the local Facebook Tesla group fun to watch that morning, as everyone that bought a Model Y foolishly, period, but in the last 6 months came out of the woodwork and said they were so angry with Tesla and all this. And it's like, good. A, they really needed to make price cuts because the Hyundai of the world is eating their lunch, rightfully so.
Good.
It's a better, cheaper product. Because this is stagnating
this is also us saying it's a better, cheaper product after Scott had his Nero saga.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're still better. Because, all right, you're going to have a failed engine, but the rest of the vehicle's fine. Or failed motor. Yep. But it's still going to run more or less. It'll work. It will not work as designed, but it will be functional.
The failure mode of the Kia Niro motor issue? You just lose additional forward motivation. Do you know what the failure mode is for the recall for the ID4 that Scott's car is pending for?
Oh, no. What happened?
May crash unintentionally, just out of the blue. May cause crash.
Oh!
The NHTSA documentation said may cause vehicle to crash unexpectedly.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Well, here's a fun fact. Speaking of Tesla, Elon Musk has lost more money than anybody else has ever made.
Oh, my God. Is this Twitter, Tesla, or both?
Just his own personal losses.
Okay.
He has lost more money than anybody else in the world. Elon Musk's losses in the last year have been...
I really am relishing this, by the way.
3 times the GDP of Bulgaria.
Wow.
The entire GDP of Bulgaria in 2021 was $84 billion.
That's a
Elon
lot of money.
Musk has lost between, I think I saw between 150 and $300 billion. And so going on a low end here, he's lost about 3 times the GDP of Bulgaria.
So, but prior to this, was he the wealthiest person in the world?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
By a long shot.
Okay. I didn't know. I don't pay attention to this stuff.
He made many, many, many dollars.
Okay.
But this is because, I mean, if you think about it, all right, this is the thing. I've always made this argument.
Yeah.
You know what, chaotic good, chaotic evil is.
Yeah. Yes.
And stuff like that.
Yeah. How they mean nothing like what they sound like.
Yeah, it's the D&D alignment chart. And being somebody that's played a lot of RPG video games.
You, Ryan?
I know, shocking.
Really? I couldn't
People
tell
go,
by looking at you.
chaotic good is just wacky and good. No. Chaotic good is the ultimate good. Like Machiavelli was chaotic good in his mind. It's not good. Chaotic good is the ultimate good, but you do bad things to get to it.
Sure.
You're the end
Your
goal
motivations
here.
are the ends always justify the
Yes, exactly. And so when I say if you look at a chart of where people are in the world, Elon Musk I would put at the furthest corner of chaotic good, because ultimately his companies, electric cars are good for the environment. He's trying to make humanity, interplanetary species, so like we don't die from a single asteroid strike. Internet for everyone with Starlink. ChatGPT to make everybody's lives easier. The Boring Company, so you can have
your own flamethrower.
Yeah, well, yes, your own flamethrower, but also high-speed rail.
Right.
These are all things that are ultimately good, but the way he's going about it is the worst possible way.
The legacy of things that man leaves behind will end up being really good things.
Yeah, no, he's definitely Thomas Edison. Like, it's not a good thing. You don't want to be Thomas Edison.
That is making
Thomas
insanely
Edison
good sense.
Is a terrible human being.
Oh, yeah.
He was disgusting on every level. Like, not good. Very bad.
Yes.
Very good. Very not good. Not at all a little bit good. Terrible human being. Like, deserves to burn in hell. And that's exactly what Elon Musk is.
Right.
And yeah, he's lost a shitload of money. But also, that being said, like, going back to Tesla and losing a shitload of money, yeah, they totally fucking deserve it. And it's like, Piss Drugs made a post about how now is a great time to buy a Tesla. It's better than ever. It's like, no, it's still not. No. Tesla still sucks.
Still don't buy the product because it's still a worse deal than an EV6 or an
yeah,
iX5.
Like they were dropping their price because they're making a Mitsubishi. They're not making a good vehicle. They're making a cheap, shitty product.
Well, we talked even last recording day about like the new lowest end Model 3 and how like it's not just they didn't make the existing one cheaper. Like they really made it worse.
They've made it objectively worse.
I was like the US made ID4. It's like it's really stripped down, like smaller battery, worse like steering wheel, no heated steering wheel. Like there's a bunch of stuff. Like it isn't the same product. It's like shrinkflation. It's like the potato chip bag that you bought 20 years ago versus the one you buy now.
Yep.
Like you think it's the same, but it is not.
No, not at all. It's that's exactly kind of what's going on here with Tesla. And with Tesla, like, you know, people are still gonna buy them, but I think there's just in America, the like thought pattern behind producing vehicles is just it's totally backwards.
What do you mean?
Like we design a car and people go, I need electric vehicle, I need all-wheel drive.
Oh, sure.
They don't look at like what the product itself is. They don't go, oh, you know what, this one is front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive or whatever, but it is still electric and it is still big, whatever, and it fits my needs, but it's not all-wheel drive. But like, just by saying, oh, it's dual motor, like, cool, that's gonna net you guaranteed sales because people are stupid and bad, and
because they have the wrong solutions for the right problems.
And I think that,
oh god,
you know, not to say like Europe's any better, but when we look at issues, we don't look at the product as a whole.
Sure.
We look at a selection of checkboxes.
Sure. You're looking at the data from the study that supports your argument. Like, that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing, yeah. And it's like for me, when I was purchasing the Fiat, I needed something that was small. I needed something that was more fuel efficient than my van, which is not hard. I wanted something that was a little bit fun. And I'm okay with 2 doors. Like, I don't need 4 doors. I actually prefer not having 4 doors. Well, with Jan, I told you, it's an anxiety thing for her.
Yeah, no, so, I get it. We've talked about that with, like, I think it was even the Volkswagen.
The Accord.
Okay.
The Accord, and how a 2-door car is better for a nanny. And so, like, a 2-door car is just, like, better, like, in case she ever had to drive it or something. But the thing is, if I had looked at a list of checkboxes, I would have unchecked. I would have just left out the Fiat entirely because Italian is supposed to be bad.
Right.
Honestly, this car's been fine. I have had my first actual failure, though.
What'd you have?
The window broke on it.
Oh, yeah, your right side regulator?
Yeah, my right side regulator broke in the snow.
I never killed a regulator in mine. I've had like 5 of those.
I was trying to roll it down. It was super duper cold outside, and there's the smallest piece of ice, and the plastic was super hard and broke the plastic.
It's got to be an age thing, I guess.
Yeah, it must be. I think I blame the cold.
Okay.
Because it was incredibly cold, and there was a piece of ice, and it was just one of those things where it's like, you know, everything gets brittle in the cold.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware.
Yeah.
Even me.
Yeah.
I get very brittle.
Yeah, and so it's just a piece of plastic got brittle and broke. It is what it is. So.
But you've had that car for a few years now.
Yeah, I've had it since 2020. So,
Okay.
like, I'm not crying about having to replace the regulator. It is what it is. But, like, that's the thing is, like, I've had, like, a failure on it. But that's the thing is, if I read what every report said,
Right.
like, everyone would say, oh, it's going to be terrible, it's bad, it's got every problem in the world. And it's like, it's got a couple, like, weird things. Like,
it did, especially, like, the first model year. It had, like, the ball joints were unique to that one model year, which was Euro only, and you couldn't buy the parts here. And they had, like, side skirt issues.
Yeah, well, it still has the side skirt issues. It's got some cosmetic issues. It has side skirt issues, and it has the broken armrests I haven't taken the time to actually fix. But like,
by and large, especially mechanically,
it's a functioning vehicle. It's
really
great.
good.
I've not had any issues. Like, there are things that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the timing belt. I'm worried about, the clutch. Things like that. Just because,
I
like,
guess.
yeah. But I mean, like, that's just, that's gonna happen on any car that's got a manual transmission and a timing belt. So, I mean, the thing is, though, is getting back to Tesla. People just look at these checkboxes and what a Tesla does, and Tesla's really good at marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a really, like, a primo example of marketing versus real life experiences. Is like, people forget that, like, Model A's when they first came out, like, the pillars were coming up off of the body, like,
well, it's because they had wood
bumpers were
inside.
falling off. And yeah, well, I mean, do you remember the stories about how, like, the pillars, like, the welds would break and they just, like, crack?
No, because I don't deal with anything pre-war.
Well, I'm talking about, like, but, like, when the Model A first came out, like,
I'm not actually aware of this, no.
So there were, like, catastrophic issues where, like, the seam welds were just, like, incorrect on some of these cars.
Great.
Problematic. And, like,
Really?
it was worse than bumpers. Just bumpers coming off. These cars have to come back to the factory. They have to, like, strip the paint off, re-weld something, repaint the whole car.
And this is pre-recall era, so that
This
must
is, like,
have
the
been...
first year of Model A production. Like, this is right when we first started recording. But, like, yeah, like, Tesla just has these catastrophic issues.
Oh, sorry, Model A is a Ford. You're talking about the Model 3? Or the Model Y?
I
do remember that.
Model 3, my bad.
No, that's
I've
right.
been saying Model A this whole time.
You have.
Sorry.
That's why
Model 3, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Model A.
That's why you looked at me funny when I said there's wood inside.
No, I was talking about the Model 3.
Okay.
Came back to Tesla.
Yeah.
The Model 3, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they were just they were chucking them out the door.
Yeah, they're trying to get them out the door. They weren't doing any quality checks.
Yep.
And what they were doing is 1970s Pontiac shit. Or, like... Yeah, you get your Pontiac, the steering wheel's upside down, and it's missing a hubcap, and it's got one 13-inch wheel. And that wheel behind it doesn't have a brake drum on it for some reason. Okay.
Good enough.
It ships. Like, what?
You're paid for the number of VIN that go out the door that day.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think, like,
Yeah.
with getting back to this, is if people look at a car for its content and quality, not just what checkboxes it checks off, you will be better for it. Because the whole checkbox thing is how people end up with Chevy Traverses.
I saw one of those on my way in with Blizzaks on it.
I had a conversation with somebody who said their dream car was a Traverse or an Acadia. And I didn't reply back to that. Because I was just like, how did you come to this conclusion?
How are your standards so low?
This is the car you... Like, I wasn't going to shit on her dreams because, you know what? That's an attainable dream. But, like, I don't know her story. But what the fuck? Like, who aspires to this?
I want to hear the stories that make that vehicle appealing to you. Like, what experience?
It was a not car person. It was a random mom on that, like, Casper's Polls or whatever Facebook group that, like, Mike added me to.
But, like, you get into any GM Lambda that's done more than, like, a mile, and it's got a timing chain slap and the transmission slipping, like, what?
I have no idea. I didn't ask.
I want them on the podcast. I want to ask them questions.
Yes, like I don't want to, like, shit on them. Like, I genuinely want to understand.
Curious.
I want to understand that thought pattern. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I was like, she said that, and then, like, I was, like, going to Zantigo, and I saw one, like, at a stop, and I was looking at it. I'm like trying to find like, I'm really good at finding the appeal for anything. Like, you know this about me. I'm like,
You'll
I can get
reference
excited.
the part like, oh, it's because of this.
I can get excited over almost
cool.
any vehicle. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, huh. I'm like, is it the wheel arches? Is it the wheels? Is it the weird 6-leg bolt pattern that's unnecessary?
Is it the rolled exhaust tips from the factory?
Is it the shape of the rear window? Like, I don't get it.
Is it the font?
Maybe it's the fact that it's got the squared wheel arches.
That's what really
Is
sold a
that
lot of
it?
terrains. It was the squared wheel arches.
It
So
must
maybe
be something like that. I have no idea. But
oh
I
my
genuinely, like, I could, because I've been in many a traverse.
Oh yeah.
Like, being a used car
Lambdas are
salesperson
not
and
good.
a service advisor, I've been in many a traverse. Because guess where those are found? Buy here, pay here lots and repair shops. So
And auctions.
yeah, and I'm just like, I was like so flabbergasted by that. It really,
Just blindsided. Like
I didn't know-
speechless.
I couldn't reply to that. I liked your comment and just left it at that. I'm like, you do you. I'm proud of you. You
Here's
have
a
dreams.
sticker.
You have dreams, and God bless
Tangible
you.
ones.
God bless you for having a dream. I don't know what made you want that dream, but hey, you have a dream. Some people really like Hootie and the Blowfish. And you know what? That's their choice.
Okay.
I'm not going to fight them on it.
Okay.
So,
That was a yeah.
yeah, that is just... People just... You can do better. Anyway, what's talking about doing better? I want to talk about GMCT Turbo Glide thing that you put on my thing here.
I love that we're still burning through like the bonus topics I had to key in like 2 months ago.
So, yeah, well, tell me about it. I don't know anything about this. I didn't read into it at all. However, I do know quite a bit about the Power Glide and the Dynaflow.
So yeah, that's perfect. So what this is, it's more similar to their 3-speed that came after the Power Glide.
Yeah.
But it's still a planetary-based box,
Okay.
and it does still have a torque converter. But the difference is it uses a switch pitch converter.
Okay.
So
yeah, like a power, like a Dynaflow.
like
yeah.
your Buick's transmission. Yeah. So this was really interesting, and in the 1950s, I think this came out in 1953, 57. Sorry.
Yeah, 57 to 61.
Like all transmissions, more or less, in consumer vehicles, cars, trucks, everything, were like cast iron until at least the 1980s.
So this had an aluminum
This was a
housing too?
die-cast aluminum one-piece trans.
What engines were they put behind?
This was only put behind the small block and a straight six. So like I think it was the
What does it say? What displacement small block?
probably. I don't know. You can click into there, but this was only sold for a year or two.
It says 57 to 61.
Okay.
So it was sold for a little bit. But what's strange about this is, so 57 to
Back to this
61.
again. This was really cool.
What I think is so odd about this is this transmission independently was found in 3 different body styles.
Okay.
It was found in the Tri-5 Ponton sort of thing. That like
The Ponton. I like that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the
I do.
Tri-5 sort of thing. Like where they had like, and like some of the models had like pontons instead of fins. It was like the Tri-5 sort of thing. And then you had like the like ginormous like 1958 Impala and like 59s, those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had this in the 60. But then you had the 61 through 64 because they did a 3-year model cycle, 55, 56, 57.
Okay. Yeah.
58, 59, 60,
Oh, I didn't know
61,
that.
62, 63. I think it's 64 kind of. But
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
60,
Like, I knew the
61.
Tri-5
Yeah.
thing, but-
So the thing was in the 50s, what GM would do is, you know how every year they did the rolling changes?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at those cars closely, they had a 3-year window in which cars were the same and they made body changes on the same body style.
So like the frames and brakes and
The
powertrains
frame-
were the same.
Oh, the whole, like, all the body panels are the same. They just changed the trim and, like, the shape of the grille and headlights.
Okay.
But, like, the basic fender design stamping is kind of, like, the same.
Okay,
So
so
you're,
the
only,
actual,
you're only changing a smaller portion of that fender.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the body was the same, like even the back
Yeah, so
quarters and stuff.
if you think about, like, imagine a 55 Bel Air.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
now imagine a 57. 57 had the bigger fins in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at a 55 and a 57, they're pretty much the same looking. Like, if you think of their front ends, they have pretty much the same front end. Like, the 57 is a more bulbous, like,
I mean,
bumper.
you pay attention to the grill and the headlights, but yeah, I mean,
But yeah, like,
you can
but
tell
they're
it's a
very
Tri-5.
similar. They're
Yeah.
very similar. So, but if you think of, like, a 58 Impala, it's a dual headlight
Twin
Impala.
headlights, yeah.
And you think of a 59 Impala, in the
Those are cool.
in the 60 Impala, which is the Suspicious Vampire.
I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you look at those three, like those are similar. Like the body's similar. The 58 was like a 1 year really was its change. They made a big change in 59, but 59 and 60 were very similar. But anyway, the thing is they did the 3-year model change cycle. So this is very interesting because 57 to 61 is 3 different complete.
I get what you're saying.
Like complete ground up redesigns.
That's like, well, we still have all this stuff, but we got to use it.
That's just very strange that they.
But it must have just been a cost thing. I can't imagine this would have been like any worse to live with than a Power Glide, but like it's effectively a 6-speed, which is kind of cool. And in the 50s, that would have been considered pretty much continuously. And these had no torque converter lockup either, so you don't feel those shifts. And I'm just like, well, all right, that kind of makes sense. Because if the thing is just rolling through the valve body the same way it would.
That's so weird.
But it's like a high-low splitter
so it was in Chevrolets and Canadian Pontiacs through the 61 model year as a extra cost option of $50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was a lot in the 50s.
Yeah. And it also had HR, which is hill retarder, which is incredible. But it was effectively a hill holder. You didn't have the searching for gears on hills. Oh, that's really fascinating.
This is a really innovative piece of tech for the time.
Yeah, this is also a tremendous piece of shit.
Oh, I'm sure it's awful.
No, aluminum. There's a reason they didn't use aluminum cases in this era.
Alloys were pretty bad in the 50s.
Yeah, this would grenade. Like this will cut your legs off. Absolutely.
Yeah, you get a little bit of wobble in the front pump.
You're done. Yeah, this is a absolute dead end for power building.
And I think that's why it wasn't popular and it didn't last all that long.
No, it sounds awful.
But it's still interesting.
It's very interesting, but also objectively awful.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying or suggesting anyone should ever get this. And CVTs are bad, but that's cool.
There's also I like this because this kind of falls, and I've in recent years become very interested in 1950s American cars.
I am aware.
And it's because of shit like this.
You should go find one of these and put it in the Buick just for fun.
What I want is I want to get like this transmission, put it behind like a Bendix fuel injected like Chrysler engine with like an adapter, and then give it like the flexi like torque tube Tempest. Make like the most cursed like high tech 50s car. Like
this is like the disappointment build, but
this is the thing is like the 1950s is they just like they moved so fast and broke so much shit to like make cars better. Yeah. Like some things got better, but like and people go like American cars are so good in the 50s. Like no, they just did everything, every dumb idea.
Yeah, you can find a good idea from the 50s.
Yeah,
but all the other bad ideas were rotted out.
Like for every small block Chevy, for every like fire dome Hemi, that there was a turbo glide transmission. There was the flexible drive shaft. There was Bendix fuel injection. There were so many just shit products that were made in the 50s that nobody thinks about. And I really relish in that because a lot of people shit on 80s cars for that same reason. They go, 80s cars suck. They're unreliable because they all think of the GL10.
Like you're right, that 80s car Subaru is unreliable.
That's true. But what's gonna happen is Gen Z when they're our age, they'll look back 80s cars and be like, yeah, the 5.0 Mustang. Look at that. Look at the E30 M3. Look at all these great, reliable, good vehicles. For every one of those, there's an absolute stinking pile of shit, and that's of every single era. And I think with the reason the malaise is not remembered fondly is they still had a lot of innovation, but
but it wasn't for fun. It was
even then they didn't go with some of their crazy ideas because they couldn't afford it.
Right. Because
everybody was hamstrung in every way.
Right. You can't take your gambles.
Yeah, you can't really take your weird ass gambles that you took in the 50s. Are you gonna make a power glide transmission or Bendix fuel injection in 1974? No.
You know they had 2 blackboards in the GM room in 1954. They had the Dynaflow and they had the Power Glide. Yeah. And one guy's just fuck it, we're not going anywhere. pushes the two together. I'm like, we're making that.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're making a bad thing.
We're making a turbo glide. Yeah. Which I love that they put turbo and
was
glide
on everything.
in everything.
Turbo was on everything and had nothing to do with anything.
So, well, the torque converter.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. Is like they had turbos. They existed
In products they also sold.
but like in 1957, the turbo didn't just like appear out of the ether. Like that'd been around since like pre-war.
Oh yeah.
Like that had been on most World War II airplanes had turbo superchargers, and like.
And like heavier machinery had turbocharging.
You could have, you could have easily put a turbo onto a car. You know, like they were trying to figure out ways like for fueling.
But for the love of God, do not turbocharge an engine on a turbo glide.
No, a turbo glide is
Correct.
a bad idea. You know, it's two great terms to put together because the turbo hydromatics are great.
Yes.
The power glides were great.
They were.
The turbo glide was not great.
Correct.
Yes.
Probably. I don't actually know that
I'm
conclusively.
going to tell you right
but
now.
we can say
I will bet you $1 million this is not a great transmission.
Ryan, I don't have $1 million.
I don't have $1
bet.
million either, but
okay.
I will take a Wall Street bet on that one.
Okay.
Like that, I will.
You know, I'm not going to take the bet, but I appreciate where you're coming from.
Yeah, there's no way on earth that this transmission was a good idea. But God bless him for trying. So anyway, tell me about Jaguar.
All right. So I wasn't even aware that they still made the iPace brand new. Obviously Scott has his and he likes it, but
well, the iPace would make sense. But what about the? I assume they're done with the F-Pace.
I have no idea.
That's a gasser version.
You're right. Yeah.
So I'm sure they make the iPace
But the iPace has been around for a long time.
Yes.
That's the main reason I was surprised to see that it was still in production.
I'm not.
I mean, they have a bunch of V8 supercharged cars they sell, so I guess
When
when
did Jaguar release the XJ?
Oh God, 74?
Was it really
72?
mad? I think it was 72.
Could have been
When did they end the XJ?
Did they end the XJ?
With the original body style?
Oh, 203?
No, 2000. No, it was longer than that.
Really?
When did they make the updated XJ?
That was when I was in college, so 09.
Yeah, 09. Yeah.
Let's look it up, shall we?
They
Jaguar
had three,
XJ.
they had three
that's not even the
generations of the
Wikipedia.
original body style.
I gotta find this.
Oh, no, it's in the wiki. I've looked at that wiki. XJ. They had three body styles. So all three body styles were sort of like minorly updated.
All right.
But like, so the series 1, 2, and 3.
68 to 73.
So all right, series 1, 2, and 3, the ones where parts were like literally interchangeable, was 68 to 92.
Okay.
XJ 40, 300, and 308 was 86 to 03.
Okay. Yeah, the fact that these are all split out is bonkers to me because they are the same car.
The shortest lived one was the X 350 and 358, which were like
07. Okay.
Yeah, that was 09. That was the final version of what was the original look of the car. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that they still make the iPace.
Fine.
You know what?
Have
when
a point.
Stella goes to college, guess what you're gonna be able to buy brand new?
An iPace.
Yes. Absolutely. It'll still be for sale.
But good news, they've added an option for 22-inch wheels because the 21s weren't big enough.
I think they were running out of tires being made in a 21-inch.
Could be.
Because that's just, who the fuck makes a 21 these days? You either make a 20 or you make a 28 or whatever it is.
Oh my God, 26 you mean?
Yeah, whatever.
But
any wheel that's over 17 inches, I instantly don't give a shit about until you hit 30.
But yeah, if you want an iPace, it's still a great vehicle.
You know, I've got this like aversion to like engines that are 1.6 to 3 liters.
Yeah.
I have the same aversion of 18-inch to 29-inch wheels. Like anywhere, like 17s are the biggest I go.
Or 30s.
And then I go to donk, yeah. And that's the thing is I like tiny engines or I like behemoths.
You also like just quirky engines for the sake of being quirky.
Yeah, well,
it's like a Trophy 4 isn't a particularly...
But a Trophy 4, if you look at the displacement, it's still a 4-cylinder. It's like 3 liters.
Yeah, but so is that new Blueprint Engines LS4
that's great.
pod. It's a 3.6, I think.
It's also massive.
Yeah.
So
3.6 liter 4-cylinder?
I've got to get a math like equation in my head. I think it's like per liter if you make over 1 liter per liter or per cylinder
Okay.
of displacement, then I'm interested. If you make Like,
What if it's a diesel?
if you make like, I think it's like, what is 1.5 divided by 4? What is that? That's like I think like a third of a liter. Yeah,
375.
Yeah. So if you make like a third of a liter per cylinder to 1 liter per cylinder, that's my blank area where I don't give a shit. Like, it's gonna take a lot to get me interested in that.
500 cc per cylinder. 1.1 liter per cylinder.
Yeah, exactly. Like 720 cc per cylinder.
Nah. It's just a walking meme at this point.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
But that's a fair point. I mean, I didn't really think about how long they left some things in production, but if you look at like the X-Type and the S-Type, those were not in production long.
The originals. The
What?
original S-Type was in production for too long.
But
But the X-Type and the
the newer
S-Type,
ones-
the only reason those died is Ford sold them.
That's true.
Like, that was because they died with
didn't
the
know the
recession.
plan.
They literally died with the recession. Like, they died as soon as Ford sold. Because, yeah, if Ford was still, like, making them,
Okay.
you could get a brand new S-Type. It looks like it was made in 2002. Like, guaranteed.
All
Yeah,
right.
Jaguar doesn't end things.
I mean, which is great because this is still a fantastic vehicle. But all they did is really change the bumpers, the headlights, add a new wheel option. Still the same battery as far as I can tell, but
I
still
love
a
it
great
when
car.
this is the thing is you don't like it when Fiat lets things die on the vine. I do. I love when they make the same car forever.
I just don't.
Like I like 1 year only models, and I want like models that are made for 30 years. Like those are the things I like. Like hit me with a like a air cooled Beetle. That's tight.
See, I'm just the asshole that hates both. Because if you ask me about an E24, the reason why I hate them, there were like 12 different rolling parts changes in all the model years, and none of them fit.
It's cursed enough where I'm like interested in it. Like
Oh,
there's
such
two
a bad car.
two different things. It's like it's very cursed to a point where it's like humorous, or it's just good to live with. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like that's what I like. Is I like things that are either so cursed I can't help but laugh at them, or something that's just in production for entirely too long. Like Twingos. Twingos are made forever.
Oh man,
Unchanged.
that Twingo looks awesome, by the way.
Unchanged. Oh, Darren's, he finally saw
know,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's literally he found the perfect.
That
one.
is the spec and the colors are perfect.
Yeah, no, he
It's
found
flawless.
I think that's Darren's first like 10 out of 10. Like this is the car. Like, cause Darren's like always had this incredible collection of like kooky cars, but it's always like a buy here pay here like manual Mercedes R129, or like a diesel column shift like 240D, like just like stinky cars.
I think that'd be a 220D. I don't think they have
Yeah,
the column
220.
shift on
Yeah,
the 240.
220D. But like, just the stinky things is what you usually get. So this is the first time I've ever seen Darren get like yeah, sure, he's got an S2000. Even the S2000, it's like
I didn't even know that.
yeah, he's got it's blue on blue though.
Oh god.
It's a blue leather.
It's gotta be an
interior.
early one then.
Yeah, it's AP1, but it's like it's got the blue leather interior, and like he also I guess he does have a Abarth, a 500 Abarth.
Very good.
So he's got a 500 Abarth and the Twingo, which are great. The S2000 has a jarring color combination. Some
Yeah, but
people
that's
love
so of the period.
it. Yeah.
That's like you see a
like,
Z3M
so
Roadster with
he's got like 3 cars that are like pretty solid. Oh, and the Beat. The Beat's a really good spec Beat. All right, so he does have some
He's got
really
it.
great cars.
He must have more cars than I do at this point.
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
Because this is the thing is Darren doesn't sell.
Right.
He just doesn't.
I have to.
No, Darren, he finds places to put shit. Like, he's got like a large property in Seattle, and it's just full of stinky cars.
Darren finds spots to put cars like I find places with low power rates to plug in crypto miners.
Makes like enough money to buy good cars,
Sure.
but he chooses to still buy $5,000 cars.
Awesome.
Like, it's really incredible. Like,
I kind of want to return to that, but there aren't enough interesting $5,000 EVs.
well, yeah, you don't get the
Yet.
EVs. You have to go with like.
But I need a daily.
Darren's cars are like when you're playing Gran Turismo 4 and like you start making like good money in the game.
Yeah.
But you still go to like the used car lots and you buy the
And you just add boost.
yeah you buy the weird shit that you wanted. You're like, I'll take the Philip Helvetic Accord. I'll take the Honda Today G. Like, yeah, that's the one I'm gonna take. I'm gonna
Wagon
take the
RRR,
Dushin.
sign me up.
I'll take the Auto Bianchi A112. Like, yeah, just give me all the garbage.
Do you
Like,
know why? Because it doesn't break in this
I have
game.
more cars. And that's the thing that's funny about Darren is Darren's like, I have more cars. But like,
I just... As I age, I want to get closer to that 8-car limit that I like. I did the mental math 10 years ago. It was like 8's the number that I can deal with and live with reasonably.
I would love to have a daring level of cars, but I would need a property outside of the Twin Cities to put them on.
Correct.
Like I need a decent sized pole barn, and like
I'm just unwilling to do that.
and yeah, like I don't want to leave the 494 loop.
Right.
And,
Even this is like,
like,
ugh.
Yeah, like I'm
This is
just
as
trying to
far up as
think
I
of
go.
like even then like I'm trying to think of cars that I really want that are like affordable and stinky.
It's all just JDM imports from the 90s, I'm guessing, right?
No,
Like
there's
three
like
cars and-
like I really want a Pontiac Can-Am.
Okay.
Like, that's like
What about a what was that mini Chevy muscle car that we talked about?
oh, the Opala.
Yeah.
Yeah, an Opala.
An
would be
Opala
great.
SS.
Yeah, an Opala would be great. I recently found out about the Ford Festiva Beta.
Oh my god. Do I even want to know?
Oh, you got Control T for that one. Ford Festiva Beta. It was a Japan-only Ford Festiva sedan
Oh yeah.
with the cutest little trunk you've ever seen.
This is great.
Yeah, it's really good. So
Oh, they got it in here. I know they do.
There it
There
is.
it is.
but like, yeah, they made a sedan.
That looks like a mini Ford Sierra mixed with like a Nissan.
This is the axolotl of the Ford Escort.
Oh,
Like, you know, how axolotl is just a baby that hasn't grown into a full adult yet. That's how axolotls are.
sure.
Yeah, axolotls actually grow into a different creature once they become an adult.
Those are words. I believe you.
You know what an axolotl is?
I do not.
All right, Control T axolotl.
No.
Axolotls
I
are
already
really
did
cute.
Festiva B.
I'm going to show you what an axolotl is, because they're literally the cutest creature.
I don't know. Have you seen this Festiva Beta? This should have been on World Cup of Cars. It's
Yeah, no, if
adorable.
I had known about this car when we did the World Cup of Cars,
Oh, you
this
found
is an
out that
axolotl.
recently? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so axolotls actually do grow into a different creature. And yeah, they turn into a salamander.
Okay.
But like that's the baby version of
He
the
looks all
salamander.
see-through.
Yeah, so this is the axolotl version of the salamander that is the Escort.
The Sierra.
Yeah, and so yeah, this is on my finisher list. But what I found out about the Festiva Beta is that in addition to being wonderful and having the cutest little trunk in the world,
This is
it's
so terrible. I love it.
left-hand drive.
Yeah. Okay. That is actually kind of weird.
Because it was literally a Korean market Ford that they brought to Japan. They sold like 970 of them. Nobody bought them because it's like a stupid, not good, slow sedan that's on
A
the
little
wrong
too big.
side. Like it doesn't classify as a K car, but like it sucks in every other way. Like it's just a stinky car. But yeah, like Festivas, there's like a whole bunch of them. So like,
All right.
I'm actually gonna replace my e-bike thing with Festivas. I'm gonna talk about the nifty e-bikes next time because I'm on a Festiva roll here. So like,
Let's do it.
So the Festiva was actually sold as the Kia Pride, like in Kia, like it was designed by Kia as the Kia Pride, and then it was replaced. So
making the
the
notes.
Kia Pride was purchased or built under like as a knockdown kit by Ford as the Festiva.
Okay.
And then
should
Ford
look up
knocked
Kia
down
Pride.
the knockdown kit to Mazda to make the Mazda 121.
Oh my god. Oh man, this is. We went
Yeah.
through this so much with the World Cup of Cars. We're like
Yeah.
knockdown of a
It's
knockdown
a
of a
knockdown of a
knockdown.
knockdown of a knockdown. It's incredible.
Oh my god.
So what you could get is you can get a canvas top for like zero structural rigidity.
Kia
Yeah, so that's a
Pride.
Kia Pride. You can get a 5-door, which is great. You can get a sedan, and you can get the canvas top, where it's just like if you want like the floppiest car in the world, like.
Because it's definitely a unibody.
Genuinely, I don't know which has better structural rigidity, a Dashavo or a Kia Pride canvas top. Like, it is a toss-up. They both stink.
The 2CV weighs like 800 pounds.
Yeah, I know, but like also a 2CV was designed to have a canvas roof. This one is totally just a Ford Festiva where they remove the sheet metal and they put a piece of cloth.
Can you
they
imagine
hope
the
for the best.
noise that would make if it was closed and you
Oh.
went down like my street in the winter?
It'd be incredible. It'd be absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's like the worst noise.
We're not gonna make it, are we?
Like there was a reason they made the canvas top as the 3-door because it had at least the like quarter panel that was holding the car together. Because if they made a 5-door, it would have been game
That's
over.
too many holes in the metal.
Yeah,
We
no,
can't do
it
this.
would have just folded in on itself.
Wouldn't surprise me if they like welded the tailgate shut on that thing.
Yeah, and so what's also interesting about it is they made also the tailgate was a normal tailgate. You know, like a Fiat 500 has the tiny tailgate.
That's the only thing I hate about the 500C.
Well, because you need that to make the car not fold in on
Engineer
itself.
around it somehow.
So
I want a 500 Abarth C.
they also made a Ford Festiva GTX for the Japanese market.
It's got a great name.
It's a very good name. And it has a engine called a BJ, which is incredible.
So what does this BJ do for me?
The BJ gives you dual overhead cams,
Okay.
single port fuel injection.
Nice.
So not like like toilet bowl injection on a twin cam
Good
engine,
throttle body, yeah.
which I just think is incredible. Because if you think about that, like they made this great engine, and they're like,
which
perfect.
makes good intake noise.
We made good engine,
And then-
they're just like, we're gonna put a toilet bowl on this. we're still gonna do that. You thought we were gonna do port injection, but nope. You get the toilet bowl.
They got the bill for that, and they're like, no, we don't.
However, this is what's interesting. In 1986, it made 88 horsepower
That's
out
pretty.
of a 1.3 liter engine.
And then, but it weighs
Honda-
nothing.
Yeah, and a Honda CRX had a 1.5 that made 91 horsepower that same year. So like that actually makes it a good car.
That seems pretty zippy.
That sounds like actually I would
And look
kind
at
of
it.
want.
It's got box flares.
Yeah, that's really cool. I kind of
That
want
is a finisher car for
yeah,
sure.
and it's got like the hood bulge.
I know.
Like it's actually a good car. Like I kind of would really want to drive a Festiva GTX at some point. Like that sounds like a blast.
It looks like the same people that did the Galant VR4 did this, because it's got the exact same like color keyed wheels. It's got the same bulges.
Everybody did that. Everybody did that.
right.
Like that's how you made something fast. Like, if you had a hot hatch on 1986, you had box flares and color keyed wheels, guaranteed.
All right.
And there were wheels that were not divisible by 4 either, like guaranteed. They're like 7 spokes or 3 spokes.
Okay.
Nothing in between.
Yeah, 3-spoke I get. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, a Ford Festiva GTX is a very cool
Are they
choice
cheap?
of car. They have to be. I can't imagine a Ford Festiva being worth anything. Even Shoguns are worth money. And that's the one where they made them wide body and put a Ford Show V8 in the back. You've never heard of the Shogun?
No.
Oh, look up a Ford Shogun. Oh, this is a riot.
They actually put that into production?
This is a company in SoCal that make these. They made like 100 of them.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That looks like. Oh, that's got to be the V6. These wheels are.
It was the first generation Ford Taurus show.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a V6.
the
sorry.
3.0, yep.
Yeah,
No,
it was a 3.0
that's
V6.
the good
right.
engine.
But still, yeah, it was a V6 with a manual in the back.
Because those American Racing flat-faced polished aluminum wheels are very telling of the year that it was
Yes.
made, which was like 92.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. Right. Yep. Jay
I've
Leno,
seen the catalog.
when
This
Jay,
is from Jay Leno, I think.
yeah, this is. He bought his new because it costs as much as a Corvette ZR1.
And that was like people complained
it
about
was-
how expensive the
It was
ZR1
just
was.
as fast as a ZR1. It had like all the same specs as a ZR1. And Jay Leno said, "Yeah, but I can wear a top hat in this one."
Leno was cooler in the 90s, but I did not know about that. I want that.
Yeah, no, he actually daily drove this for a while.
Can you find these?
It's like finding a Koenig Mercedes. Like they exist. They're
Is it-
they're not a known quantity in the collector market.
Is it cheaper than finding a Clio V6 Phase 2?
Oh yeah.
Even a
No,
Phase
like
1?
this is like probably E30 M3 money.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely attainable. It's just like I think there's like 20 surviving examples.
That's so dumb. I love it. And
Yeah.
that engine's really good. I mean, that Yamaha V6
It's
is
totally a
fantastic.
reliable, reasonable vehicle.
Yeah.
Like this is a very reasonable.
You could probably still daily that if it had AC.
Yeah, I think they did actually. Yeah.
Well, I should with that price point.
Yeah. I know, right?
I mean, look at the size of the vent in the hood. That's clearly got multiple radiators up
But
front.
like, even if you didn't get a Shogun, like you could still get a Festiva GTX. Like, the thing is, buying a JDM Festiva, you're going to spend more money on import costs than you do buying the car.
I just wish there was
Guaranteed.
like a Twingo that did that. Like, I want box flares on a Twingo.
That'd be great.
I know,
Yeah, like
fantastic.
they had the Twingo GT, but like you still have to wait like 20 years to get that because they only made those in like 2017.
I know. I really like the Top Gear
Ooh,
piece on that.
actually, Twingo GT was sold in Mexico.
Right, but I still can't bring it. Like, so was the Yaris GR. Like,
Yeah. Do you know how cheap property is in Mexico?
No, but
They never said you don't need citizenship to buy a car in Mexico. You just need a mailing address. You need a P.O. box in Mexico. And just have your tabs sent to your P.O. box.
I would sooner get dual citizenship in Canada so I could have my Avantime. Thank you.
Oh, there's actually an island in Canada that's a principality of France that you can register the car in and have brand new European cars.
We need to talk about this off air because if I can get my Avantime sooner.
I heard about it on TikTok and I actually looked it up and I'm like, but that place exists. And like, yeah, they issue licenses and stuff. They don't do any background check. You just need to have a P.O. box there. And you can get cars that are sold, like they have like most French brands, like they have dealers there.
Well, I mean, Renault is definitely a French brand.
Yeah, so like what you would do is you could be like, okay, I would like a Skoda,
Isn't that
a Skoda favorite. And
a Superb, maybe?
yeah.
I love their names, by the
Yeah.
way. It's my favorite. This one's Superb.
This one's the favorite. Like, I would like a Skoda Superb, and then
This one's
you would
supreme.
you would buy it from Skoda, and then you have it shipped to a Volkswagen dealer there,
Okay.
and then you register it there, and like, obviously the registration fees are stupid, but like,
Would have to be to support that economy.
yeah, but that's the thing is like it's totally its back door. So apparently in like Quebec and stuff, like people are buying like weird fucking European spec cars and driving them in Quebec with these French license plates from this French principality that's like right off the coast.
Huh.
Like there's a ferry that goes between like everything.
It's not hard.
It's literally like this is a principality. I have to find the name of
Like
it.
the cars ship into the mainland and they go back out to the island via the ferry to get delivered, then they come right back.
Pretty much, yeah. Like
The ferry company's in on it, aren't they?
I'm sure.
But no, I mean, like, you could legally have an Avantime in Canada right now if you
Yes, I know
lived
you
in
can, yeah.
Canada. So I wish there was a way.
But you could also like just speaking of cheap weird cars.
You could have a C4 Cactus.
Yeah, like think of like just like weird cheap cars. Like you don't need necessarily EVs. You just need to like think outside the box.
No, my daily needs to be an EV. So
Well,
like,
yeah, yes, but I mean like, but this is the thing is you don't get these as dailies. Like you get these as like a weird collection of trash.
no, but going back to like Darren's point, it's like I would love to get back to the world of just like driving the cheap $5,000 cars,
Yeah.
but I still want to do that as my daily, and my daily
Yes.
needs to be an EV.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be very difficult. At that point, you're just finding auction Maevs.
I know it's insane to me that I bought.
Darren drove a Maev. Have you ever been in one?
No,
Darren said it's hilarious. It's very bad, but like in a comical way.
I would love to drive one,
Because
frankly.
apparently they're super overpowered. The American version shares no parts of the Japanese
Oh, we did talk
version.
about this. Yeah.
But apparently, like, they're just like burnout machines.
Awesome.
Because like there's no sort of like traction control or anything. Like you just go and do donuts and like spend like your entire battery charge doing donuts in a parking lot.
This is perfect.
This sounds like a car
Jack
for
it up,
you.
weld the diff, and
That's a car.
That's
for
my
you.
lake machine.
That is literally a car for you.
If I found one cheap enough, I'd buy it. Hey.
Yeah, I found two that are sold on KBid, like random like auctions.
Just like along with tools and shit.
Yeah, like for like $3,000.
That's not bad.
Next time I find one that's auctioning, I'll show it to you.
If you ever see a Nissan Leaf for under $4 at an auction,
Yeah, I'll keep eyes out for Leafs and Maevs.
Because I want to drive a Maev, but I want to use a Leaf as a parts car. So.
Understandable. All right, let's.
Let me close out these tabs real quick so I can get back to the real
Let's
world.
do one last one, and we'll bump these other two topics to
All
the
right,
next episode.
sounds good. So we aren't not really new tractor people, but I got to keep with this because we've been talking about
Tractors are
right to
cool.
repair. Tractors are cool.
Very cool.
Modern tractors from John Deere not that cool, but we've been talking about right to repair since the start of this show.
I will let you know that the cheapest Lamborghini you can buy is actually a tractor. Yes.
What about a Porsche?
They
No.
do not make tractors anymore. No. But
And you can get some really cheap things labeled Porsche, I guess.
yes, because the 924 exists.
Correct.
But the thing is,
And many non-running 928s.
yes, in every Cayenne of any condition.
And Boxster S.
Yes.
And- okay.
Yes, Porsche. We have established that Porsche makes some trash. However, if you wanted a Lamborghini of any sort, about $80,000 is what it takes to get an entry-level Lamborghini tractor. Just so you know.
That's too much.
Not for a tractor.
Well, great.
But
Sounds
it's
like
also
Clarkson's
Italian.
farm. Yeah.
It's also
It's a
Italian.
Lamborghini.
It's also entirely too big. None of it works.
Jeremy, it's too large. It isn't.
It doesn't fit in his garage.
Barely squeezes through the gate.
No, he had to cut a hole in the barn to fit the light on his tractor through.
Speaking of that show, is the new season coming out soon?
Yes. He had his first piglet. He made an
Oh,
Instagram
adorable.
post.
Can we just talk about how much better that show is than the UK Top Gear?
If you ever want to follow a great Instagram, Jeremy Clarkson 1.
Is that actually
That's
Clarkson?
actually his real thing. It's literally
Okay.
Jeremy Clarkson 1.
Okay.
But yes, his piglet.
Oh, look at him. He's so cute. Look at the little guy.
Let's see here.
Oh, wow. The piglet, not Jeremy.
New season's coming out February 10th.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's good news.
I said, she looks just like you.
Did you get any love
No.
from that comment? Oh.
She's very good, though.
Anyway, so the right to repair stuff started really spearheaded by Louis Rossman finally is coming to a head where a bill has been signed by the American Farm Bureau Federation which will allow the purchase and use of John Deere proprietary diagnostic tools to end users and to independent third-party shops, which is huge. Not just for tractor owners, but like everything we own that we can't get diagnostic tools for. If I broke the screen on this iPhone, I need a proprietary tool to code it.
So, I tried to get political on here.
Okay.
This was a bipartisan effort and is actually led by a Democrat. Just so you know.
Good. Everyone hates...
I've been following this forever.
Not
but no,
repairing shit.
it was... it became bipartisan because eventually some Republicans joined in. But, like, the only people that were fighting this
Yes.
were Republicans.
Great.
Yeah.
I
try not to get political, but, like, I'm absolutely willing to throw a politician under the bus if they do stupid shit like this.
want to know the vote number now.
Yeah,
Now that you mentioned
you can
it,
look
but-
it up, but...
I could, but if it's not in the article, I'm not interested.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everybody should be able to fix everything.
Oh my god, I know. I just really hope that this, and it should set the precedent for like car manufacturers.
Yes, it
'cause
does.
I want the plug-in to interface with my Tesla, so I can turn off traction control.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
No,
Maybe I will soon.
I'm happy about the Fiat and the Lexus. I can just pull the fuse for ABS and it's fine.
Well, I can do that on my car too, but I don't want to. I want a button.
Yeah, a button would work.
Also, I want to be able to shut off the front
On
axle.
the Fiat, you could just get
Fiat
a breaker.
has-
You could just get a breaker.
The Fiat, you hit the button and it's off.
No,
On all my 500s, you hit that button once, it is off.
not mine.
Weird.
Like it'll really let you do some skeevy shit in it, but it eventually does turn on. And usually, once it gets to that point, it puts the car in limp mode because like it thinks that there's been some sort of catastrophic issue. But
The turbos must be very different in their programming.
the turbos are basically they're closer to an Abarth than they are a normal.
Right, but the 500Es literally started as Abarths, and that one had fully defeatable traction control.
This one's not.
Huh. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
I want to do hood rat things in my car.
you can. You just put a breaker.
I was gonna just put a relay under the hood with just a ground trigger.
That's what I'm saying. You just put a little breaker on instead of a fuse, and then you just pop open the fuse box. You press a little button on the breaker, and it pops it open.
The problem is the fuse box for this car is under the hood, under a piece of plastic, so I'd want it inside the car. Because
Yes.
it also gets rid of regen braking when you disable ABS, which I do like. But
That is
anyway,
a problem.
that's neither here nor there.
Huh.
But yes, right to repair is making progress,
Good.
so this is really good news.
Yeah, no, everybody should be able to repair all their stuff. That's another reason why I'm just very anti anybody buying GM for any reason.
Especially a turbo guide.
It is a no, like modern GM is like yes, it makes shitty cars, but also GM of all the automakers, they are fighting right to repair the most. They've actually sued individual people who have tried making their own homebrew GM software to interface with their.
What the hell is wrong with companies?
Mary Barr is a lizard person.
You know,
She's
actually-
not a real human. She's a fucking lizard. That's what I think.
That is very audible on the microphone.
I'm sorry. I'm fidgeting.
I can tell that you're not happy about the thing we're talking about.
just don't like
So
Mary
on that
Barr.
note,
Anyway,
we will see you
bye.
next week. Bye.